Welcome to episode 4 of Chip Chat, WOWmen of Weston, featuring social artist Bev G Star and creative crafter Kelly Lewis, with a cameo appearance from Lilly, and we're starring today at the Beach Cafe.
Hi, my name's Meg, lead artist on the 21st Century Super Shrines project here in Weston-super-Mare and self-appointed Chip Advisor. You're watching Chip Chat, the only show that puts the chips into the art chat.
Fancy.
It's Chip Chat. We're here outside of the Weston Beach Cafe with creative crafter
Kelly Lewis
and social artist
Bev G Star.
Let's get chipping and chatting. So here we are with artists Bev and Kelly, two wonderful women of Weston, and I thought it would just be a poignant thing to say is that Beatrice Page was the UK's first female tram driver, and she was from here, Weston-super-Mare, and that was during World War One. And all these years later, we've got two other fabulous women making Weston the powerful, forward place that it is. Bev G Star and Kelly Lewis. So I wondered, Bev, if you wanted to talk a little bit about your role as a social artist in the town and what that means to you, and then we'll hear a bit from Kelly on what it means to be a creative crafter. Let's go for it.
Super stuff. So I'm Bev G Star. I'm from Weston-super-Mare, and I spend my days in Weston-super-Mare encouraging people from the community to be creative.
Yay! Super. And how long have you been doing that?
Actually, it was an organic growth by accident. I've always been a creative artist, and I didn't know where to do and what to do with that skill. So about 5 years ago, I set up a collective called the Creative Collectives, and then I met other artists, much like yourself, Megs, and I realised you could become somebody who works in the community with art. So actually, it was when I met you. About 4 years ago, I believe so.
You're too kind.
That's true, though. And I was like, what? You could be an artist in a community? I want to be what Meg is. And then that's when I became that.
Boom! It happened. I love it. And Cal, do you want to talk a little bit about being a creative crafter and the kind of things that you do and the projects that you enjoy doing?
Yep. I just enjoy creating anything, really. I love trying my hand at anything. And luckily enough in Weston, there's lots of groups that you can go to meet lovely people like yourselves and try out different arts and crafts, and then from there I just take on the ones that I like and just put the other ones to the side.
We've got some lovely chips that have just arrived. I don't know how you guys salt and vinegar your chips. What's your preference?
Equally salted, equally with vinegar.
Ooh, Cal?
Loads of vinegar and a little bit of salt.
Ooh, I'm a bit more Cal, but I'm also willing to have a little bit more salt. You willing to have a little bit more salt today?
I'll have a little bit more salt today.
Okay, great. In that case, if you're really high on vinegar, I'll give the vinegar to you, Cal.
Thank you.
And the salt to you, Bev. You guys go for it. And then
now it's which order do we do it in?
Salt first.
Oh, is it?
No, vinegar first.
I always say vinegar first because I think the salt then sticks to the vinegar. I think that's the trad way of doing it.
Let's go.
Have a little go on these chips and let me know what your score is out of 10. 10 being the highest, obs.
Okay.
You ready with the number?
Yeah. I'm going to go for a solid 8.
8 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm gonna do
Hi.
that. I'm going
Talk
in
us
for
through.
that.
Talk us through your answer.
The way they're cooked is essential. They're not too anemic. They've been in that fryer long enough.
That is true.
Brown, crispy. I could almost add gravy on them, and they're so good.
Love it. Cal?
Yeah, I'd go for an 8 as well. They're lovely and crunchy, and they have got really nice flavour.
Yeah. I'm going to go 7, but because of the view, I'm upping it to an 8.
I see what you're saying.
It's the ambiance.
Yeah,
I like
the setting
it.
helps.
There might not be Beyonce, but there's ambiance.
Yeah.
I wondered if you guys wanted to talk through how we all first met by accident on that fateful day inside the big whirl. Talk us through it.
We'll go with Kelly first with this.
So my sister had said to me that there was this craft group going on in Bigwell. I should go to it, and I was like, oh, I'm not really sure, bit anxious, whatever. And anyway, I went, I went with my dad's wife, and I turned up and we sat there, and there was everybody was quite quiet, and then this woman came out and was like, "I'm Bev G-Star!" And then we had to go around and introduce ourselves, and just happened to be sat on the same table was Meg, and we were making succulent gardens.
We were making succulent gardens that day, and I do remember it beautifully, actually, because Megs, I think you had a project running there at the time to kind of improve the community engagement, improve the area of Big Well. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
And we was a sellout that day. We had like 20 people in the room.
Did you?
We were massive. That was
It was really full, really full.
It was a really, really good session, and I just remember being one in awe of yourself, Megs, and then just encouraging really the people in the class, because like Kelly said, a lot of people come to these social engaging activities because they're anxious and because they want to find skills that they can grow on, and that's how we all met, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Succulent garden.
I think also, like, Bev really impressed us, didn't she, with how she held the space, like the way in which you invite everyone in. You really nurture that group, like from making sure everyone's got a cup of tea, everyone knows where the loo is, everyone knows it's not like a school project, like, you know, you're there for your own purposes.
Absolutely.
And it was just a beautifully held space, wasn't it?
It was like, for me, definitely going into a space where I didn't know anybody, I didn't know the area, didn't really know what I was doing there, but after about 10 minutes or so I was like, I relaxed, and I was like, this is really good. And then Bev's never got rid of me since then, so yeah.
She just keeps coming back. It's only just hit me now, actually, but like this episode is all about WOWmen of Weston, and actually that room and those workshops were heavily women based, weren't they?
They were indeed heavily women. You know, let's go back sort of and say that the original role of a woman was to stay at home and do all of those things that they needed to do. You know, so the husbands were at work, so there became sort of like an absence for the women of what to do with the skills whilst their children were at school and stuff like that.
Right, interesting.
And that's the people that came. It wasn't that we just made those spaces available to women. It was we made those spaces available to anybody.
Yeah.
But it was women that came.
But perhaps the way in which you host a space is particularly female friendly, in the way in which it's everyone friendly. It's inclusive. But what I'm trying to say is, I think there are some spaces where women, sadly today in 2022, still don't feel that welcoming, warm, nurturing environment, especially if you are suffering with a bit of anxiety or...
Yeah, most importantly, I held and I hold those spaces as the space that I would have needed when I was maybe struggling with a little bit of anxiety and social, separation. So I created something that I needed when I was feeling low, a place where people could come together, join, and again... that creativity and that art is a really important thing to me. It's literally innately bred into me and what to do with it. So I needed to find other people like me also, and those that came were the right connections.
Yeah. And now all these years on, like, you guys have got like a long-term friendship, both personally
really
and working together.
Yeah, really good friends now.
And not only that, Kelly has grown in her way that she's seen ways to use those creative skills where she can put them to practice in projects. It's okay to learn creative skills, but sometimes people want the next level, sometimes want to be able to put them into the community and do those something, and that's what you have done yourself, Megs, and Culture Weston and all of the other people that have allowed us to do that, is come together and put those practice skills to good use.
So I wanted to also speak a little bit about just life in Weston for both of you, like life, like I know that Bev, you were born in West. Where were you born?
Born and bred. I'm a Weston hometown girl.
Fantastic. And whereas Kelly has journeyed to Weston and made it your home, yeah. So I wanted to really ask you guys what life is like for you as women in Weston today, and like what has made you stay here, or what made you come here, and like how is life as a creative woman in Weston today for you guys?
Well, first of all, you're speaking to the right person about Weston, because I am probably its biggest fan, which is why I've not moved away yet. And the opportunities that Weston's creating for me right now as a woman and as an artist, it's just evolving into massive levels. Massive fan of my hometown, massive, huge.
Great. Have you ever left and come back and been like, I'm so glad I'm back?
I think I was like a redcoat in Devon for 2 months.
No way.
Once, like when I was like 18, it didn't go down too well. I wasn't.
I want to hear more on this. Could you tell us what your role was as a redcoat? One thing you had to do that sticks to your mind.
Yeah, dance all the like children's dances every night, you know, like the Macarena and the Cha-Cha slide. That was me getting families and children up to dance. It was like that kind of style entertainment. It was beautiful. It was actually Woolacombe Bay. It's Woolacombe, I loved it. And
Woolacombe is lovely.
Yeah, that's it. That's the only time I've really left for a short stint.
And Cal, how did you journey here and how did you make Weston your home and how is it like being here now?
Well, I moved down to Weston after coming to visit my dad down here, and we decided it was such a lovely place that this is where we wanted to come and live. We moved from Essex, and that was becoming quite crime-ridden and just really not a nice place to live anymore. So we moved down here. Love the people in Weston. I love how welcoming they are. Life is slower down here.
Yeah.
People are friendlier.
I was going to say, actually, I think one thing that's just stuck into my head is that you are an amazing mobility scooter user. But Weston's actually really accessible now.
It is. It really is. I mean, you do come across the odd thing, but there's like loads of the whole beach. Like you can go from start to finish on your scooter, and obviously getting on the beach is a bit of a problem, but I think they are trying to sort that out now. But yeah,
we did get stuck on the beach once, didn't we?
We did, yes.
Do you want to talk us through how that happened?
So we were dressed in sequins, and Meg was on her rollerblades with her helmet on. Yeah. And I had a big balloon attached to me, and we were going along the beach. The prom, and we had songs playing like Tina Turner. Yeah. Rolling. And then we went to do some photos on the beach, and I actually managed to get stuck in the sand. So Meg and the poor photographer Paul were trying to push me out. So in the end, I think we did manage to get the scooter off the sand.
We did. We got out.
I did happen to reverse into Meg though.
Oh yeah.
I'm still very sorry for that.
It's totally fine.
But it was a fabulous day being photographed.
Yeah, the lesson to be learned is that the sand is not very accessible for mobility scooters or rollerblades. Spray painted gold. I really wanted you guys to come on board the project 21st Century Super Shrines as the memory makers, because that's basically what you both do, delivering your sessions and with your craft, is you kind of help to create memories for yourselves and for other people. And with the 21st Century Super Shrines project, we're working with a different national artist each year that comes and works with a different community group to build an artwork, a shrine with and for that community. And I thought it was really important because in lots of the projects that I do, there's lots of engagement and work behind the scenes that I like to call people power that makes those projects happen, but rarely is it actually captured in a creative way. It's just captured in reports and things like that, and I feel like it's really important that actually that work is captured and showcased back to the community in like a live archive. So you guys have like built this beautiful display that's inside the Sovereign Centre, and you guys work to change the boards and document things the community say, designs towards the project that make Moorag's bandstand the bandstand it is, comments that are captured that go into the script of Tom Marshman's show, and you kind of create this beautiful installation. You run workshops with people, and I just wanted to ask you guys like how that's been for you, how you've enjoyed doing it, how it connects with the work that you already do and the way in which you work with people, and like do you feel like that is an empowering part of the project for people to see?
It's actually quite big, one, to be able to given the opportunity and to allow that to happen for us, but again it's that importance of the community seeing what the actual creatives and the artists do. Again, it's not all just about writing it up in reports, it's about producing these things creatively. You can see behind the scenes, you can see the work, and also most importantly for me is that you can see that community inclusion, where the community has joined us all along the way and are listened to and are heard.
Yeah, it's so true. And I also think that it's reported back in a way that everyone can understand and see. I feel like so often communities are reported about, not reported to.
And again, we're visual artists for a reason. I'm a visual artist. We're visual. I don't like to sit and read those information. It's just not a way I ever connected with, which is I think is why I am who I am today. I was never one for reading and scrolling through to find information. I want it visually. I want to go hieroglyphics, take me right back to there, whereas the information is presented so beautifully to my eyes that I can connect with it and understand it.
Yeah, I totally agree. How is that the same for you, Kelly? Are you very visual when you do you skip to pictures?
I think so, and especially with in the community. There's so many opportunities in the community to be involved in creativity here, and it doesn't matter what level you're at. But I think it's so nice that, you know, a lot of the things that go onto the board have come from the people of Weston. You know, with the pets one,
Yeah.
a lot of that was from the community, and all the ideas and all bits and bobs that go together. And I think it's so nice for everybody to see what their input into the project was,
Yeah.
rather than, like you say, just being like written in a bit of paper and then filed away somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. I agree. I just think that, yeah, it's so nice for everyone to be a part of that and to see where their work's gone. What was your favourite thing that you make? Because Kelly, I know you crafted lots of different bits for that board. What's your favourite thing that you've crafted so far?
I think it was the Tom Marshman sign with the teapot
Yes.
pouring out the rainbow
It's gorgeous.
into his cup.
Do you want to talk?
I must say I did have a little bit of help with that. Claire did make the teapot and the teacup.
Thanks, Claire. Credit to Claire. Do you want to talk a little bit about why the teapot's there? Do you remember the tea party?
We had a tea party for Tom Marshman, and it was where Tom collects ideas and voices from people. Yeah, just a lovely chat over lovely tea and cakes.
Yeah, yeah. Part of Tom's process is that he has tea parties with people, and yeah, it was really nice. Perfect. Bev, for many years you've been working with people on different projects as like people power behind your projects. Do you have a particular like format or process that you use?
I don't have a particular process, but I suppose I do actually. It's normally to make sure that when the people come through the door that they feel at ease and comfortable, and they don't feel less than.
Yeah.
So we're all here together at the same stage. So the process is chill the people out,
Yes.
and then allow them to express. Like a lot of people growing up, maybe no stereotypicalness, but weren't able to be expressive and use art and creativity as a skill to share with what they have for the world, whereas I was lucky enough to be encouraged with that creative license as an adult. So
That's nice.
my process is just to make sure people understand that we're here to use all of those skills to make things better.
Yeah, and you really do that. You really do that wonderfully.
I think that one of the best things about Bev's workshops is as soon as you walk in, there's no judgment, there's no, this is what we're going to do, this is how you should do it. It's like, this is what we're going to do, you know, put yourself into it. And there's never any judgment. And, you know, Bev will tell people, oh, I've suffered from anxiety in the past.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to go into a space and somebody to say, I've had anxiety. And you literally sit there and we're like, because you know that person knows where you're coming from, which is why I love Bev's workshop so much.
Bev, going back to what you were saying about your workshops having quite a female audience just organically, due to like the timing of them and children going back to school and that kind of thing, what do you kind of feel is the value of your social art for women in Weston? What do they get out of coming to a Bev G Star session?
Okay. They get safety, they get understanding, they get security, and they just get a space where they're somebody else for the day. They're not the mum, they're not the parent, they're not the carer, they're not the role, they're not the lonely person. They're completely disassociated from anything else, and they step away and they just become.
And like Hal said, I think you help connect people back to who they want to be or who they are, because I think so often as women you put lots of things on hold, whether you're being a mother or whether you are for lots of different reasons. Anxiety, all of these things can go on to hold, and you can kind of lose touch with what it is that you really enjoy doing, and you can get caught up in what you think you should be doing. And I think what you're really good at doing is bringing people back to who they are and what they want. Yeah. Cal, I wanted to ask you a little bit about like your journey, like through creative compassion to yourself and finding crafting and how powerful it is to you as a woman. How would you inspire other women in Weston and beyond to kind of pick up the crochet or pick up the collage? Like, you know, what advice would you give people about creative compassion?
Do it. I was in such a dark place when I moved to Weston. My health had changed drastically, my life had changed drastically. And I really didn't know how to pick myself out of it. I taught myself to crochet, and then, like I said, I started going to Bev's creative groups, and the change in me was amazing. It was like I had something to get up for. I had something to do. I could try it and I could do it at home, and it picked my mood up, and it made me feel better about myself. And I just think you see so many more groups where people can go. You suffer from mental health, or you've got mobility problems, or you've got a long-term health condition. Lots of people in the same boat as you, and it's the people that go to these groups, they enjoy it so much, and it is something to look forward to. And I think definitely the way that we look at mental health is different now, and even doctors and hospitals are prescribing art. And I mean, that's quite a powerful message, because it's such a good tool. If you haven't tried it, just try it. You'll probably love it.
So here we are in the Beach Cafe, joined by Lilly, who works here. Hi, Lilly.
Hi.
Thanks so much for joining us. So Lilly, you're 15, yeah?
Yeah, 15.
Fantastic. And how long have you been working at the Beach Cafe?
Probably around 4 or 5 months now, I'd say, yeah. About that.
Cool. And how are you finding it? What's it like working on the beautiful beachfront?
I really enjoy it, especially when you come here in the morning. There's always like the nice view of the tide, and I get along with everyone because they're around my age, so we all get along really well.
That's really good. It's a really good, like, supportive, like, group.
Along.
Yeah, cool. And I was going to ask, like, do you have any creative activities, things that you do outside of your job in Weston?
Yeah, I like read a lot, and then I'm usually just out with my friends, see what's going on in Weston, see who's where, and just Marine Lake, the park, the beach, anywhere really.
Nice. And you were telling me before we started filming about a book that you're reading. Could you share a little bit about that?
It's called The Crossing. My colleague, actually, Jimmy, lent it to me, and it's about like this murder going around in Weston and on the island over there, and this guy's like murdering people. It's really crazy. It's really good though, because you can kind of picture where it's happening because you know where it is, because it's places in Weston, so it's really good.
What era is it set in, do you know?
Modern, it's probably 2010s, I'd say, about that.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really good.
I'm going to have to get that book. I know. Do you guys love a murder mystery?
I do love a murder mystery, yeah.
Love a murder mystery, love Weston. Boom, boom. Get it in. So this episode we've been talking about WOWmen of Weston, powerful women of Weston, and I wondered if we each had a woman in mind that we'd like to say, I'd love to pay a tribute one day to that woman. Lilly, who would yours be?
Probably like my old history teacher. She was a really big feminist, and she would always just like any questions you had, she'd answer. She was really good at teaching history, which I liked, and she was really cool.
Amazing. What was her name?
Miss Flanders.
Miss Flanders. Thank you, Miss Flanders. I
Yeah.
hope she watches. Cal?
I'm not sure I can pick just one person. I've met so many amazing women since I've moved to Weston that have helped me out so much, like of coming out of the dark place that I was in.
Do you want to say a couple then, or a few?
Well, you're an honorary Westerian,
Yeah, honorary.
So it's got to be you and Bev.
Bev is the powerhouse, isn't she? Yeah. She is. Bev?
Well, let's just go for the woman behind the power. Obviously, it would always be my mum first and foremost, because without that, you know what I mean? But if we have to go other women that are active in the community.
No, go for your mum and just do a little tribute to her.
Yeah, fair shout to my mum, man. She's got loads of kids. She's worked really hard, and I think she's enabled my creative abilities from when I was a child, because I seen her unlock hers. So that's why I am who I am today. So big shout out to the mums.
That is amazing. Yeah, I also feel the same. I don't know if I could pick just one woman, but obviously you guys, since meeting you, I've had creative idea after creative idea, because I think once you surround yourself, a bit like the book, once you surround yourself with like-minded people, your creative juices and like ideas just stem like from one to the next to the next to the next, and you guys are a big part of that. So is Karen Blake from Art Space, Fiona Matthews, exactly. It just goes on. Sophie Shepherd. It just keeps going and going and going. So what we like to do at the end of a chip chat is we like to just cement the show with a little wish for Weston in the wishing jar. So I'd like you guys to write down on your chip a wish that you have for Weston. It could be for women in Weston, or it could just be for Weston in general, and then we're gonna share them. Okay, so we'll go round with Lily first. What's your wish for Weston?
I wish for Weston to gain more places for people to just hang out and meet new people, because we've got the beach, Marine Lake and the parks, but we just need more places, just more fun places for people to be around and meet each other.
Okay. I have a feeling your wish is going to come true very soon. Cal, what's your wish?
My wish is that there are always safe spaces for especially lonely people to go to create or just be with other people.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bev?
I want to be like, there's a story behind mine. And
Right,
it's
go
very, very
for it,
quick.
go
It's like,
for
I
it.
wish for street art to came to Weston so I could paint more, and that happened to me. I wish for creative spaces, those things happen. And now I think the only thing missing that I would like the most is more drum and bass.
Yes!
Braver, like I have to go out of town to get the vibe and the feel that I want. I think, so yes, please, more drum and bass music.
Pop it in. I just wish to see more women from Weston on metaphorical stages.
Behind the decks.
Or on real stages with drum and bass music. I don't mind. So here we are outside of the Beach Cafe, the other view, and I just wanted to do a little roundup really of WOWmen in Weston. And from the chat that I just had with Kelly and Bev G-Star, it really does feel like women are at the front of creative compassion and like art for well-being here in Weston. And I think that that's wonderful, and I think that that's really beneficial to everybody. But I also think that what we just need to think about is how can we support those women who are at the front of maintaining creative compassion so that we can all benefit from that? How can we fill their cup and help to continue that cycle so that creative compassion is for everybody? And I think, I guess one of the ways in which we could do that is having a few more drum and bass nights for people like Bev G-Star so that she can fill her cup up to continue to help other people filling theirs. And it would be rude not to, because it's an absolutely beautiful summer's day. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to do something which is going to fill my cup up, because what I really love is wild water swimming. And as a surrogate Western artist who loves a bit of creative compassion and gives it to other people, I'm going to fill my cup up now by taking a little dip. So thanks. So we're now here outside of the Weston Beach Cafe, and we are joined by
My name is Mohammed Mia.
Mohammed Mir,
Sao.
Sal,
Raju Ahmed,
Rajua,
Murad,
Murad, and
Mr. Hussain.
Mr. Hussain. Nice to meet you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to pick one of you to guess what your salt and vinegar input is. Would anyone like to nominate themselves? Okay, brilliant. So what have you ordered today?
Fish and chips. You gotta have fish and chips when you come to the beach, don't ya?
You do. You actually have to. And so these are our artists, Bev G-Star and Kelly Lewis, and they are going to guess what they think you had on your fish and chips today, salt and vinegar wise. Sure. So what are we going for on the? Is it salt you've got over there?
Yeah, I've got salt. I'm just going to go for salt.
Just salt, just normal amount. And do we think there's any vinegar?
Oh yes, mate, without a doubt. I probably think there's a little bit of an extra vinegar going on as well.
Okay, like extra vinegar, you think?
Why not, right?
Okay, so we think extra vinegar and normal amount of salt. What did we guess? Anywhere near?
You guessed right. Extra vinegar.
Congratulations! Amazing!
This Chip Chat series has been designed by Megan Clark-Bagnall as a living archive to document the unfoldings of topics and themes uncovered in our conversations with communities and creatives in Weston-super-Mare during our 4-year project 21st Century Super Shrines. The 21st Century Super Shrines project is managed by Culture Weston in collaboration with North Somerset Council as part of the 4-year-long High Streets Heritage Action Zones cultural programme, led by Historic England, in partnership with Arts Council England and the National Lottery Heritage Fund.